What if the biggest economic change of 2026 doesn't appear in the news? What if it doesn't look like a crash, doesn't sound like a crisis, and doesn't come with breaking headlines, but still quietly changes how Americans live, work, and survive? Most people won't notice it at first. They'll just feel something is off. Money won't stretch the way it used to. Opportunities will feel harder to reach, and decisions that once felt simple will suddenly feel risky. If you want to understand what's really coming before it becomes obvious, subscribe now. This channel exists to explain what most people only realize after it's already too late. Now let's talk about the U.S. economy in 2026, not the version you hear in headlines, but the one you actually live inside. Here's a question almost no one is asking. Why does the economy look stable on paper, yet feel stressful in real life? That single question explains more about 2026 than any chart ever could. The United States didn't suddenly arrive here. It drifted here, slowly and quietly, through years of decisions that felt harmless at the time. Cheap money became normal, debt became comfortable, risk stopped feeling dangerous, and growth started to feel automatic. For a long time, it felt like the system would always adjust, always recover, always protect people from consequences. But what happens when a system built on comfort is forced back into discipline? That's where 2026 lives. Inflation may no longer dominate headlines in 2026, but its fingerprints are everywhere. Prices didn't explode overnight, they settled into a higher reality. And once prices settle, they rarely reverse. Rent doesn't come back down easily. Groceries don't forget the past. Insurance quietly increases. This creates a strange emotional pressure. People aren't panicking, they're adjusting downward. Dreams shrink. Risk tolerance drops. Stability becomes the goal instead of growth. Ask yourself this: why do so many people feel busier than ever, yet less secure? That feeling is not accidental. Interest rates in 2026 are no longer shocking, but they are still powerful. They quietly decide who gets access and who waits outside. Credit still exists, but it has standards again. Banks care about cash flow. Investors care about real returns. Businesses can't survive on promises anymore. Here's a curiosity most people miss. When easy money disappears, who actually benefits? The answer surprises many. Speculators fade away. Weak business models collapse quietly. Noise disappears. What remains is less exciting, but far more real. Housing tells this story perfectly. Everyone is waiting for drama, a crash, a boom, a rescue. But 2026 doesn't deliver drama, it delivers tension. Prices don't fall enough to feel like opportunity. Monthly payments don't fall enough to feel affordable. Many people feel frozen between wanting to move forward and being unable to do so. Here's an uncomfortable question. What if housing isn't broken, but simply redefining who gets access? For some, home ownership becomes delayed. For others, it's redefined. For many, it's temporarily abandoned. Quietly, patience becomes a financial advantage. Work in America also feels different by 2026. Not louder, not chaotic, just different. Technology doesn't replace everyone overnight. It replaces expectations. Companies don't announce job cuts loudly. They simply stop hiring and expect more from fewer people. Fewer hires, higher productivity demands, more pressure to adapt. So here's the question that really matters. Why do some workers feel more valuable than ever while others feel invisible? The answer isn't effort alone. It isn't education alone. It's adaptability. Those who learn how to think, manage systems, and work with technology gain leverage. Those who repeat tasks lose it. And this divide grows quietly. Consumer behavior in 2026 reveals another hidden shift. People still spend, but differently. Flash loses power, value gains it. Convenience matters more than status. Experiences feel more meaningful than excess. Debt remains part of daily life, but the emotional relationship with debt changes. Payments feel heavier. Stress becomes normalized. Ask yourself this: why does normal life feel more exhausting than it used to?
because the margin for error is smaller. On the global stage, the United States still holds influence. The dollar still anchors the system. American innovation still leads, but confidence is cautious now. Global instability reminds everyone that resilience matters more than speed. Mistakes echo longer. Poor planning shows faster. And here's the most important curiosity of 2026. Why does the economy punish denial more than failure? Because failure can teach, denial can't. 2026 doesn't destroy weak systems instantly, it exposes them slowly. Lifestyles built on debt feel heavier. Careers built on routine feel fragile. Businesses built on hype feel empty. At the same time, something else happens. Prepared people feel calmer. Not untouched by pressure, not rich overnight, but steady. They understand what's changing. They reduce unnecessary debt. They build useful skills. They stop chasing shortcuts. They don't wait for permission. This is the real truth about the U.S. economy in 2026. It doesn't reward optimism. It doesn't reward fear. It rewards awareness. And here's the part most people miss. The biggest economic shifts of 2026 won't arrive with breaking news or dramatic headlines. They will reveal themselves quietly. In who feels stuck, who feels stressed, and who feels prepared. Some people will keep waiting for clear signals. Others will start asking better questions now. If you want to be in that second group, the people who understand what's coming before it becomes obvious, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Because here we break down what's really happening beneath the surface of the economy, money, and power, without hype, without fear, and without manipulation. Subscribe now and stay ahead of the shift, while others are still trying to figure out what changed.